Now this is that mailing envelope that I was complaining about the other day. It had the perforations in the wrong place. I've just opened it up. And my thinking here is that we don't need any of these test colors anymore. And you may remember I used Windex to soak a paintbrush in once, and I was surprised at how well it worked. I was thinking, I wonder if I was to just spray Windex on here. Maybe I got a little bit too exuberant with my Windex. Will it, oh yeah, look at this. That's just, okay. We might be able to take this piece of Tony's model and bring it back to the way it was before I started messing around with it. Don't seem to be doing this one too much here. Oh yeah, it is. For goodness sakes, look at that. Even the felt marker. Oh, not quite as much, no. It did the felt marker where it was on the paint, but not on the plastic. Oh, that's all right. But it's not doing this one. I wonder why. Is it a different kind of paint? Now, those two must be a different kind of paint. Look at what I did to the other side here. I may as well do the whole thing. I guess I can get that out of there. Well, we'll give it a few minutes. I'm just checking to see how well I can get it out of all the little grooves here. I'll just take it over to the kitchen sink and rinse it off with soapy water. I wonder if these decals, are they going to break loose now? Yeah, they don't seem to be. But it sure did a number on that green paint, didn't it? It's completely gone. Now, this paint here, the brown and that orange, is obviously a different type of paint. Now, is that the Vallejo paint? Maybe? I'll have to check that out. Because the Windex is not affecting that one iota. Okay. Let's clean this up and see what we got. Okay, what I've done is I've washed it off with warm soapy water, then I rinsed it in clear water, and I'm doing my best now not to touch it with my fingers because I don't want to get greasy fingerprints on it. And then we'll spray it. Oh, and these samples here, I actually scrubbed them a little bit with the Scotch-Brite, not real hard, because I'm sure I can scrape that off, but I don't know what that paint is. Unless it's the Vallejo. I'll check that out. Maybe I'll just press stop right now and try and figure out what that is. Well, without opening the bottles up and actually putting another little sample down, I think it is these two right here. The flat earth and the orange brown. As near as I can tell. That's the only paint I've got that I can match it up to. Looks right to me anyway. So I guess the chemical composition of these is different from the Tamiya. I was reading a comment this morning. Somebody suggested that after you put your background color down, which in this case is going to be the black, the Steinolrez black, and I spray it on. I know I'm using a brush here, but that's because I like to poke at stuff while I'm talking. Anyway, you put your black down, then you put your masking tape down in the right place. Then, over top of everything, you clear coat. The reason being is that if you clear coat any imperfections on the edge of the tape, the clear coat will sort of plug them up. So then your next coat going on won't work its way underneath the masking tape. And then when you peel your masking tape off, you get a much sharper edge, a little less ragged, if you know what I mean. It's a thought. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but it's a thought, and I think it's a very good thought, providing the extra layers of paint don't sort of make it sort of chip away. You know, when you peel the masking tape off, sometimes it'll start to remove, if the paint is thick, it'll sort of remove it off, and well, then you then again get a sort of a ragged edge. I don't know. There's only one way to find out, I guess, is to test it sometime. I think it's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to try and use my separate microphone system here, so I don't need to shout, and so that the sound of the fan doesn't overpower everything. Now, I want to remember that I've got my mouth right up close to this thing, so... All right, I've got this pre-shaken already in the paint shaker, and I'm going to adjust my air pressure here to about 25. I got to remember to keep talking into this thing now. That's the problem. Okay, that's about 25. And I'm not going to thin this out. Being as it's kind of runny already. Okay. And here we go. Now, if you remember, I only want to do just the one end. I don't need to do the whole thing. You know what? I think my nozzle was drying up there. Now you'll have to excuse me, I gotta go find my little toothbrush. Okay, I'm going to be wanting to put the masking tape right about in the middle here. So I'll do it extra good right there. Okay, I think that should do it. Now we'll just shut everything down and clean the airbrush. A little bit over 2.5 hours has passed, I guess now. And my experience is that the Stynylrez primer, it dries fairly quickly. Now it can be scraped off. But with a sharp knife like this, anything can be scraped off, I guess. However, let's take this thing here, see if it can be rubbed off. I would say it's maybe not as dry as if you left it overnight, but I think it's probably safe to put our tape down now. And we're just going to run it right down the middle there. I'll get it yet. Okay. Now I don't want to get the grease off my fingers onto that black. So why did I touch it? Now I guess there's no use getting paranoid over this. Okay, let's pretend that this was the bottom of the hull and this is the upper part of the gunnel. So we're going to paint the bottom half hull red. So that means we got to mask off the top half. Okay, this is that frog tape that was recommended way back, if you remember. We just want to cover this up here. It doesn't have to stick real hard anywhere. Sort of fix it in here so that it, like that. Okay, now I don't need to push it down right here because we're going to want to peel it off later. And all it has to do is just keep the paint from going onto the other side of here, right here. And I think it's going to do that. Now I believe this hull red is still thinned out from a year ago when I was using it. It sounds pretty fluid, so I don't think we need to do any thinning here. And it looks like it's pretty fluid as well. Okay, now I got another end for the CA glue. I don't know if I need to put the lid on this for such a short duration, but may as well. I think it's a good idea to get into the habit of doing it. And once again, I've got the pressure at around 25 pounds. We'll just see what happens here now. Okay, I know that by rights I should, let that dry, give it another coat, but all this is just a test to see how the boot line will look, so maybe I'll just give it a couple of minutes here. Oh yeah, it looks like there's about a half a milliliter in there. I just cleaned the nozzle, by the way. In all likelihood, I'm overdoing it. Okay, I think if we let that dry, that should be a good test, at least for the bottom, for the hull red. Maybe what I'll do right now is I'll take this tape off, leave the boot line tape on, try not to touch anything here. I don't like to leave masking tape on any longer than I have to. Okay, now we'll let that dry real good, and we'll mask the bottom, and then we'll paint the top the light gray. At least that's the plan. Now I know I had said that we were going to paint the upper part the light gray, but this is the neutral gray. It's actually kind of dark, at least compared to some of the grays we've been using. All right. Now, I don't want to be pressing too hard on the hull red. All I want to do is just mask this off here. And I think that's probably good enough. All right, now we'll just spray this the neutral gray. I know that you did not want to have to watch me putting the gray into the airbrush. I did it much the same way as the other two times. I put it in here. Okay. I think I'll give that a couple of minutes, and then I'll give it another coat. I know that was kind of cheating, but it's getting on this afternoon here. Now this is probably way too heavy. So then why don't I stop, right? Okay. Now, all being well, we should be able to pull this off and not be pulling off the black. It looks pretty good. Well, you know what? We're going to put the macro lens on and we're going to take a nice close look, but I'm afraid that's going to have to be tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.